당신이 무엇을 원하고 왜 원하는지 안다면 그 강력한 이유가 당신을 늦게까지 깨어있게 하고 아침 일찍 깨워줄 것입니다. 토니로빈스의 당신이 원하는 모든 것을 얻는 습관 시작합니다.
I know you've asked me a lot of times about confidence. You just mentioned it again. Like,
Yes.
Is it a lack of confidence? No, it's a lack of mission, right? Because what happens is when you have something you want to serve, if it's your child and everything's on the line, you will come up with answers you'll never come up with for yourself, right? So it's like having that sense of mission. And then I think the next problem is that people think they have to know how. I call it the tyranny of how. Like, you get all excited, I'm going to do this. And then your brain goes, I've never done it before. Oh my God, what did I say? I don't know how to do this. And they tend to focus on how to do it. And when you start with how, you're screwed. Like, Martin Luther King had no idea how when he did his I Have a Dream speech. In fact, his wife was the one that pushed him because he was uncertain, right? If you know the real history, it's pretty interesting. But the bottom line is he gets up there and he gives his vision of how it can be done. He talked about what needs to happen and why. If you can figure out what you want and why you want it, and you get strong enough reasons that'll drive you late at night, it'll get you up early in the morning, and the reasons are different. Some people do it for their kid. Some people will do it, like we'll almost all do it for something more than ourselves. Some people do it because they like winning, right? I know that about you, right? It's like, I like winning. I like being the best at what I do. So I'm not going to settle for less than that. Why would I, right? So you got to find your reasons. But if you know what you want and you get a big enough why, now you'll figure out how to do it. But if you start with how, you know, the small brain, the fear brain, goes, oh shit, I don't know what to do, I don't know where to go. I don't know what to do 90% of the time either. I know what and why, and then I try something. It doesn't work, I try something else, and I do something else. Now I speed it up. My companies, you know, at the time were $100 million companies. I had one $500 million company. Now we're doing $7 billion. I took what I learned from these guys, I applied it not only to my investing, I applied it to my own businesses. Why do I reinvent the wheel when I just learned from the best on earth? I mean, somebody who's that good can tell you that little 2 millimeter thing that changes everything. So my life is really about learn from the best, but I don't start with the how. I start with the what and the why. And I think that's the mistake most people make. And then how do you get confident? You do stuff. I mean, like, I'll give you an example. Speaking. You know, it's supposedly outside of falling like the second biggest fear people have, public speaking. And, you know, you've trained yourself, so you don't feel that challenge. But I don't feel that challenge. And I've done it a million times, but I didn't feel it early on. And the reason was I tried to explain to people, I'm not getting up thinking about how I'm doing. If I did, I'd probably be a horrible critic of myself because I can be brutal in those ways. I'm focused on how do I serve them? What do they need? What do they want? How can I serve? And when you're focused on others and how to serve them, there's no lack of confidence in you because if it's not working, you just change your approach because it's all about serving. People that are scared to speak are thinking constantly, how am I doing? Am I good enough? Am I strong enough? You'll never get confidence. Confidence comes from doing something confidence is tying your shoes, right? Confidence, Michael Jordan making 1,000 shots before you take a break. Every single day, 6 days a week.
Public speaking was probably my most terrifying thing. I wasn't even able to speak in front of like 5 people without stuttering and just kind of forgetting what I wanted to say. I couldn't get my message across. So I took a year of public speaking class with Toastmasters just to get reps in a group of people that are, you know, are going to give you positive feedback and in a safe environment. So I could just get in front of a room, practice a 5-minute speech and know that I'm going to make mistakes. It's interesting what you said is 100% true about thinking about serving others because for, I think it was probably 7 years, I was speaking on stages and I would still get nervous like a day or two before. It wasn't as bad as the first 2 years where it was like a week before. Now it was only like a day or two. And I called my coach at the time, his name's Chris Lee, and I said, I don't know why I've been doing this for long enough now. Shouldn't I be not afraid anymore? And he said, you're thinking about messing up, missing the joke, forgetting what you're going to say in the first line, you're thinking about how you're looking as opposed to serving people. And he said exactly what you just said. He's like, when you just know you're going to mess up, it's not going to be perfect. You're going to forget that line that you really wanted to say, but just put all the energy on the audience, everything starts to change. And so your message speaks to me because I'm an example of that.